So they built it without nails. 1932. So with this video, my co-host decided that he wanted to introduce what's going to be in the video. So this is Sal. He's my buddy. He's in the office all the time with me. So what do we got today? We got what sold. We sold 9 cards on eBay, 2 on Etsy, 0 on HIP for about $55, $60. Sales are down about 10% over last month, but it's up and down with the economy and stuff like that. I kind of expected. But then we have a special topic, Sal. Grand Army of the Republic, GAR. I'm going to talk about those cards and the patriotic part of it and stuff. And then the next thing is, got a poll. I asked a poll out there, do you list postcards using a phone, a computer, a phone and computer? So I'll go over the stats and results of that. Then I got about 3 or 4 viewer comments to go over. Yeah, I know. And then I got some viewer comments to go over, about three of them, to talk about the opinions and how I address those. You're not working real well here. That's why he doesn't do too many of these. But Sal's about 30, 35 years old. He was a Sally, but if you look and see the ring on his neck, he's an Indian ringneck parrot. He's got a ring on his neck, and he likes to run around and stuff like that, but he's in a cage right next to me all the time. But that's Sal. Say hi, Sal. Let me go ahead and do the 2 cards that I sold on Etsy. The first card on Etsy was the Old Mission in Idaho. It's a divided back card posted in 1932. Not one of those California missions. This is the Mission, Idaho. Old Mission in Idaho. Built in 1843 without nails by 3 Jesuit priests with the assistance of Corps Indians. So they built it without nails. 1932. Sold for like $4 to $5. Navy ship. This is a Continental card of the USS Little Rock, CLG-4. Right there. This is a very light cardstock. Feels like a photograph, but it's not. It says Buffalo Post on there. So this was a different type of boat card, ship card that I had. But I didn't put a lot of ship cards up there. I just put single ones or doubles and stuff like that. And then if I have more of these, I'll just reactivate the listing and put another one. I didn't load it up with a bunch of quantity on Etsy. Not that they charge you, they only charge you for the listing. You can put as many quantity as you want, many types, different colors and stuff like that. But on eBay we had 9 cards sold. This is the high school, Seacliff somewhere. Divided back card, unposted. To high school. High schools sell. You want to make sure you get those in the title, the town, high school. A lot of people get nostalgic about these. They don't go for a lot of money sometimes, but the unique ones, you smaller towns, if you get them out there, people will do a search on them. Skyline view of Pennsylvania or Philadelphia. I used to work down there. I used to fly out every other week for a long time on there. Just a chrome card on there, divided back of Philadelphia. Pretty neat card. Someone likes the history of that. Sold between $4 and $5. Then we got this card, Eagle with the Shield, late century cast from plaque polychrome painted, the Shelbourne Museum in Shelbourne, Vermont. It's an eagle with a flag thing. That really sticks out in the listing. The red, these type of cards I always list no matter what, because when you bring them up on eBay, this is going to stick out on the search page. If it gets up in the search page, and it's going to stop people sometimes because their eyes go to the color red. That's the same with lava or that type of stuff I like because it pops out the large letter cards like from the last video. Then we got another boat or submarine right here. It's going through the water. USS John Adams, SSBN-620. Names are right on the back here. Easy to list, easy to sell, lighter cardstock prints. I sell the heck out of these things. I got a whole table full of them. Night scene of Oral Roberts University Prayer Tower, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Night scenes do well no matter what they are. There's the Prayer Tower, Oral Roberts, unposted Chrome card, $4 to $5. I'll go ahead and finish up these what sold. Don't have too many left, and we can run right to the video. John River Steam Plant, Rogersville, Tennessee. Steam plant. Unposted Chrome card, $4 to $5. Someone probably worked there. Then we have another ship here, USS Norfolk DL-1. Same thing, print, about a continental size, unposted. And these were printed by that club that I bought these cards from. Next one is, something on the Hudson River, some N on the Hudson River. This is not from that private collection. And how do I know that? In the title I put AB1 through AB8 on the end, and also the number, my inventory numbers. This was in an earlier box. This has been in my store a couple years, and it finally sold. And I think this sold for about $5.55 is what this is priced up. But it's a divided back card. Doesn't say when it was posted on there, but it falls right in with that private collection that I had. And so it took me back a step, but I knew the number. The inventory number, there was no way it could have been part of that collection. Now this one is a high-level bridge at night, Cleveland, Ohio. Night scene. But the problem is, it's got a crease. And I did call that out in the listing. It's on there, so you can see that crease. Even though sometimes cards like that, but I knew this was a night scene of a bridge. Had a lot going for it. It doesn't say when it was posted, but it was posted from Ohio. And that sold for $4 to $5. So altogether, I had 11 cards sold for between $55 and $60. Not too bad. But April came in about 10% lower than March. So there was a big drop down on there on the sales part. And that's the number of cards, not the dollars. I could have sold some higher price dollars and the dollars would be up there, but the number of cards have went down. And I believe that has to do with some of the economy stuff. Am I going to make a pivot and start promoting, start worrying? No, I'm just going to ride it out. The economy does this, up and down, up and down. You just got to take those rides. They say ride the wave. And that's what I'm going to do. Now we're going to get into the special topic, GAR. Not the garfish, GAR, G-A-R. This is one card I know enough to keep me out of trouble. I'm not a big GAR, Grand Army of the Republic, searching for cards like this, but as we go through, you'll see the pricing and why you want to keep your eyes on there. But there are also, you need to know what you're looking at, because as you'll see in the pricing, it's all over the place. But let me go ahead and do some highlights here. I don't know a lot about the GAR. I know, like I said, I know enough. When I see a card, it might be worth something. But the Grand Army of the Republic, or a lot of people call it GAR, was a fraternal organization composed of veterans of the Union Army, Union Navy, and Marines who served in the American Civil War. So you're talking a long time ago. I wanted to put this video together to see if I can learn some more. So I wanted to dig in to some details and see if I can learn any more about these. But you know what? I got into it. It's still vague in some areas for me on these cards because the pricing is just all over. The RPPCs of these seem to do very well, but there's just so many cards that it's just something I don't look for that often. But I wanted to know if I see them, if it's something I should pick up. And I'll help you make that determination here in a minute when we go through pricing. Grand Army of the Republic was founded in 1866 in Springfield, Illinois, and included hundreds of local community unit posts. Most posts were in the north, hardly any in the south and the west. Go figure, Union Army. The GAR, Grand Army of the Republic, was dissolved in 1956 at the death of its last member, Albert Wolson. This is where members could share experiences during the war. The enrollment grew just over 410,000 at its peak. Most were men, and only a few women were enrolled. That's interesting. You'd think they wouldn't back then. The pricing of these cards can be very inflated. People can really think they got gold here, and they inflate these prices, and you'll see that in the pricing as we go through. Like I said, you got to get to know what you're looking at with these cards. Not to scare you away from them, but you want to do your research, because you could have something that's worth a lot of money or a lot of them that are not. There's just a lot of stuff with the GAR out there. There's all the ribbons, medals, hats, uniforms. There's so much to this patriotic stuff that you really want to make sure you do your research if you're going to price it up high. My store, I only have one card. I checked my store. Out of 31,000 cards and 4,000 on Etsy, I only have one card, and it's been in there for a while. This is the Remnant of the Grand Army of the Republic, and that's what it looks like. Just guys standing lined up there. It's an undivided back, and it still isn't sold. I think I got a price $4 to $5 because there's really nothing here for that. You think it would be worth a lot because it's the GAR, but you want to be careful. Don't get caught up in that in there. But this one has satin. That's the only one I got. Now I do see these a lot in the antique stores and different places. They're like onesie twosies. I haven't seen a big stack of them lately, but I did see some in the past, and I did pass on them because there's just something I really didn't want to get into. But let's look at the pricing to help the prices, what you would think these would sell for. And I think you'll see the extreme that I'm talking about, but also it's something you don't want to totally turn your head to, because there is some good money in these if you get the right ones. The sold high. So we'll go through the sold high, the sold low, list high, list low. First one here is Kokomo, Indiana. That's not far from me. 1908, Encampment, Parade Street View, RPPC Postcard Shop. Not for sure what postcard shop means. $70. So that's an RPPC. So RPPCs of the GAR sold for $70. So if you see these RPPCs and you get them for a good price, and do the research, probably get your money back at least. But look at that, $70 for a GAR parade on there. Parades, and the next one is also a parade. Rochester, New York, GAR, Grand Army of the Republic, Parade, Old Real Photo Postcard, and another RPPC. So when you see GARs and their RPPCs, you want to take a second look. Then you get into some of the normal ones that I see. And the bottom one here is Allen Clapsaddle, beautiful Civil War Decoration Day, circa 1900s embossed. And then there's the inventory number. I'm thinking what really kind of sold this is the Allen Clapsaddle of the GAR. Because as you'll see here in a minute, these normal GAR, you'll see GAR, G-A-R, across a lot of the cards. But sometimes they look just like normal patriotic cards. But I think Clapsaddle helped move this card. This is kind of an anomaly that I've seen with these patriotic GAR cards. But the RPPCs, definitely take a second look at. But let's look at the low and look at the extreme of what's selling. Then you got this other one here, CCSC number 397. Oh, I hope that isn't his inventory number up front. On Patriotic and Boast Postcard, GAR, to my comrade, hat, musket, sword. So he's doing the keyword search. But if you look at that card, and we just saw that other Clapsaddle, but this is a regular card, $1.04, only 2 bids. So that went out on the market for auction, and people only paid a little over $1 for that card. The next one, that's the same card on here. Let me bring it up. Clapsaddle. You had one sell for $32. This one sold for $5. The extremes. That is so amazing. So basically what it was is you found the right person at the right time for the right price. One for $5.50, the same card, and it says Clapsaddle, $32. That's why you got to be so careful with postcards, especially these and there. Next one, Washington, D.C., McKinley, Post, Canton, Ohio, largest flag, GAR parade, circling 10. So that's got like a wood border, like paint, it looks like wood around it, but it's not. and it's in there. It's only $6.77. So you had RPPCs selling for $70 and $56 and a clap saddle for $32, and then you come over here and you're like $4 to $5. One of them is the same card. Goes through the extremes. It's you. If you get these, I would spend some time researching them. And if you don't have anything in them, I would lot them up. There's people out there that would probably buy it. These would be a good thing to lot up. But I'm sure there's some people out there that know so much about the GAR that can prove me wrong on this. But this is just from my experience. Maybe I'm doing something wrong with them, but I just don't see them that often, and I don't sell that many of them. Like the one here, it's been sitting there forever. Then we get into all the great listed high in the postcard world. And then we'll get into the low. So these are the listed. I went out there and I searched on the listed. $450. Mint USA picture postcard GAR Civil War Union Decoration Day souvenir piece. I'm very cautious of putting mint, very good, good condition. Those are all opinion based. What one person thinks is mint is not mint to the other one. What one person thinks is very good isn't very good to the other person. So I try to keep anything that's going to have any kind of opinion about how you grade it off of my listings. If people ask me, I'll answer the questions and stuff like that, but most of my cards are used, and I have a disclaimer I just put in every postcard. Edges, there could be writing on the front or back and stuff. If you look at my listings, you can copy that. I took it from somebody else and modified it, but you don't need to type it out every time. It covers everything. Everybody knows postcards have went through the mail. They're not like sports cards on the edges and stuff. There is some cards that you want to do that with, the higher priced ones and stuff, but most of your chromes and older cards are going to have some kind of distress, aging, staining or something. Sometimes that even helps the card because it's the history of the card. But $450 for that card. Is there something there that I'm not? Put it in the comments. You know, I want to learn about these. The next one is another mint. It's the same seller. Real picture postcard. Number one, it's real photo postcard. Civil War GAR Veterans Home, 1912. It's an RPPC, and I got $405. The other RPPCs were selling for $50 to $70. What's so special about this? Is he attached to it? Is he trying to go to the market? He's already priced it down 10% and stuff. I'm a postcard seller. I want to move cards. The more cards I move, the more money I make. The more money I make, the more profit I make. And the more profit I make, the more postcards I can buy. So I always try to price to sell. To give someone a deal so they come back to your store. If you go to a grocery store and you buy stuff and you come out and it's $300 for a half a cart of groceries, and then you went to another store and you come out with 2 carts of groceries for the same price, what store are you going to go to? You make your money when you buy it, not when you sell it, is what they always tell me. I try to buy my cards right, knowing that I want to move cards. So I can sometimes be a little lower on price. I don't want to cut myself too short, because there is a perceived value. And Julie pointed that out in one of the comments in there. If you price your things too low, Julie Norman has a channel too. She sells postcards. Price stuff too low, there's a perceived value. I think there's something to that, and also if you price it too high, people will just go on by. So you got to find that sweet spot. And like with the photos, those ship photos I had, I tried to sell them all different ways. I did auctions. I went up in price, down in price. I put a sale on it. I lotted them up. I finally landed on $8.55, and I've sold the heck out of those things at $8.55. Now, I only got a penny or two in these things. They were kind of add-ons to the big lot I bought. So I'm not losing, but I wanted to get a fair value. And plus, I wanted to give the people, the Navy guys, a fair value for their, memories on the ship too. But I don't want to, give the house away. But also, I'm not going to list it for $400. I got thousands of those things. Then the next one is listed 1911 Patriotic Postcard GAR with Woman Soldiers by Ellen Clapsaddle. So that's a clap saddle, $52. We saw the other clap saddle sell for $32, and then one sold for like $5. Where would you price that card? Is $52 a little high? Would you throw that on there and put best offer just to see what the market would bear? But it does have a clap saddle. How long is it going to sit? I don't know. I'm not a real big artist sign person, and I'm not a real big GAR person, but one sold for 32 and one sold for 5. If you want the car to move, where would you put it? That's the decisions that people make. And what do you have into it? What do you want to get out of it? And what will the market bear? Then we get the listed low. So we go from $450, $405, and $52 down to $499. Grand Army of the Republic, Glory, Honor. It's a clap saddle vintage postcard for $499. And we just looked at that other clap saddle GAR card, and they got it priced for $52. These are all, the data will drive your decision on your pricing. What is the market bearing? Not what people are putting here. One sold for 32, one sold for 5, one's listed for 52, this one's listed for 5. I think this is low. Now it might sit a while, but I think he needs to go up a little bit on that. $499. Next one is Antique Tux Embossed GAR Decoration Pride and Glory. Take antique out. $650. Next one is a clap saddle Patriotic GAR card, $5. So that $52 clap saddle is going up against some of these other $5. It's a race to the bottom sometimes, but the pricing is so extreme on these cards that that's one of the reasons I think I turn my head to them a lot. Is there's a lot of them out there, and there's a lot of different things to them. Some people probably specialize in them, but I'm just not that person. I would love to, but I have other things I'm working on there. But be careful with these GAR cards. Do your homework. If you get them for a good price, most of the time if you can get a big lot of these cards, you're not going to lose if you pay a good price for them. So you can go out and do all the research and stuff, but just remember how much time you got into each card, because that's money as well. Just don't use eBay pricing as a gauge. If it's a nice card and it's good condition, and they're selling for $10 and you think it's worth $15, $20, $30, put it up there and put best offer or something. Test the market. You don't have to follow exactly what's being sold, because you'll step the ladder down and all of a sudden you're selling at the bottom. Check other sites on there and stuff like that. Lot them up. But that's GAR cards. That's about what I know about Grand Army of the Republic GAR cards. If you got any questions, put it in the comments. I'm sure somebody out there that does postcards know a lot more than I do about these types of cards, but I wanted to bring it up. So if you see them out there and there are PPCs, second look. Other ones, make sure you get them for a good price. GAR. Who knows? Now don't forget, with Ko-Fi, our little Ko-Fi, K-O-F-I, and I'll put the link down here. You can download these cards. You can download them for free, a digital download, and print them out yourself. Or if you would like a copy of them on postcard stock, and this is the stamp box. It talks about a quick reference guide on stamp boxes, and this is the postcard errors that used to be in eBay. I think that's where I got it from. This one I'm not for sure, but these are only $1.50, just the cost of the product, and 50 cents out of each one of these, and anyone you get goes to charity on there. But the digital ones are free. It's just a place for me to put them that I can point you to go get. But Ko-Fi is the place to do it. You don't have to donate. Just put 0 in there if you want, and then download them. But I want to remind people, because I have these ready to go, and I'll mail them out to you in an envelope, and then $1.50 covers the postage, the envelope, the ink, and 50 cents going to charity. Not a money maker for me, just a place for me to get that stuff out there. Because a lot of people, I showed them one time on a video, and a lot of people asked me for that, and I was emailing them, and I think I was missing some people. This way I can just point them right to the link, and they can go get it as often as you want. Now these polls, I've had some people ask me, what am I talking about polls? On YouTube, when you reach 500 subscribers, there's a little community tab up at the top of the channel now that you can send out a poll or images or stuff to the community. You can talk to the community. Well, I decided to do the polls every Saturday, once a week. On Saturdays, I would send out a poll from questions that people want me to ask, or just ideas that pop in my head. And they go out about 9 o'clock, and I've gotten some pretty good responses to them. This one I think had about 62 responses in a couple days. But this question is interesting, and I'm going to add it to my list. There's 3 things now that you don't ask resellers. They're very passionate about. 1 is, how do they store their inventory? 2 is, how do they ship? And 3, do they use a computer or a phone to list? Man, does that spur conversations. People are very passionate about how they do things. They're not changing. This is what I do. This is the best. You need to do it this way. So there's 3 things: shipping, pricing, and do you use a computer or the phone? So now I got 3. So this one was, do you list postcards using a computer, a phone, both phone and computer, or other? I wanted to know if anybody else had some magical wand out there that could just, tap and it lists the card, but there was 0% on other. About what I thought. But you always got to try. Do you list using a computer only? 74% said yes. Do you list postcards using a phone? 12%. Do you list postcards using both phone and a computer? 14%. Now, here's my thoughts about this. I'm an older person. I'm from the IT world. This phone right here that's all I use it for, is a phone. And I do watch things and things come across like that. It's not my computer. I can't type as fast as I can on a keyboard. I have 2 screens in front of me here. I have one on the left, one on the right. So if I'm listing a postcard on the right in eBay and I write a title, I have another eBay screen up on Chrome and Edge or whatever, a different browser, and I can actually go out and research while I'm listing. 2 screens, flat screens. I used to have 3 when I worked from home. One was my company and the other one's there. I could use them for anything because I did a lot of drawings. So I would grab stuff around. I use a computer 100%. I never ever list from a phone. I'm just not that good with it. The app on the computer is probably more robust than the app on the phone. There's finite space on a phone, so you're going to get a lot of defaults, a lot of drop downs, stuff like that. I've heard people had problems bouncing between the phone and the app on the computer. They'll do some stuff on the computer and stuff on the phone. Some people have problems, some people not. I haven't confirmed that. But it doesn't bother me because I use a computer. It's just what it is. A lot of people use both phone and a computer. A lot of people will do the listings on the computer and their photos on the phone. They'll take the picture and they'll put it right in there and put it up. A lot of times that people said that they turned best offer on, eBay did this. A lot of times the defaults are set on the phone app, is what I've come to a conclusion with, but I haven't confirmed it. Do what you like to do. I'm not telling anybody they can't use a phone or a computer is better, but for me, a computer is better. My thumbs don't type as fast as some of these people can do with the phone. But if you want to be efficient, get the quantity up, I would recommend a computer. I would have to recommend a computer because that's the way I do it. Whatever makes you comfortable. Just like with inventory, you can store anything, just the way you ship them. You can do whatever you want. I'm just telling you my opinion, my recommendation. But I found from years being in IT, I can type faster on a full-fledged keyboard than I can type on a phone. That's all I got to say about that. I'm sure that'll spur some comments. But if there's anything you want me to put in the polls, you got any weird questions that you want me to send out that's been gnawing at you, how do people do this? Send it to me in the comments or an email. You'll find my email in the video description. And I'll put it up there. I'll schedule it out there and we'll see what they say. But I think it brings to light. I thought more people used the phone or the phone and computer. 74% was computer? That's kind of high. But then we're in postcard world where the average person is a little older in postcards. So you can read into a lot of this stuff. That's the poll. Viewer comments. I pulled these viewer comments from YouTube, emails, different places on there. Sometimes I get the username, sometimes I leave it off. But the first comment here was, I had similar results as you. This is talking about the video I'm putting out about the eBay standard envelope tracking and the letter tracking on Etsy. And I'm doing these once a month now just to see if it gets better, and I'm tracking the trend. on here, but this is the videos here. They're in a playlist, so you can go see them all for every month. This person said, I've had similar results with you, although I'm not selling the quantity you are yet. I had one refund request after 20 days. One stayed away, and the origin scan was the only thing shown after 3 weeks. The buyer, who is also a seller, claimed they didn't get it and requested a refund. I could read more into that last sentence there, but I won't. Yeah, you don't have a leg to scan on if the scan's not there. And I just had one the other day. This person bought mini cards from me, and he hit me up and he said, hey, this seems like take a look at this. It seems like the tracking just stopped. Well, it never really started. Told him, I said, I can't really do anything until after 10 days. I said, hang on and we'll see if it starts back up. So I turned the alerts on, like they say, and see if it jogs it loose. Well, guess what? After 3 days this morning, I looked at my phone, I got a text, it'll be delivered today at 4 o'clock, by 4 o'clock. And then all the tracking just shows up. I mean, it actually had the tracking all the way through. Nothing was there before, and then this morning I looked at it, all the trackings, even the out for deliveries, the origin, everything's there. So it was there in the file, I think, on the platform, but they just didn't put it into their stuff. Who knows? But yeah, if you don't have any backup, it's kind of hard. People want their product, and if they say they didn't get it, you can't prove it. So price your cards to know that you're going to have problems like that when you sell it. Next one's from Bill and his wife. Bill's been on the channel since I think I started, and always has great comments. Thank you for the preparation you put into your videos, including the research, analysis, and outlines of what you will share. Your charts, graphs, and on-screen notes make them easy to follow. I agree with my wife's observations. Your videos are actual presentations. We appreciate the effort and hours. Thanks, Bill. I always appreciate you guys, and thanks for watching. I learn just as much as everybody else when I do these videos. I go out there and I find the highlights of the cards. I don't do all the real deep dive into it. There's always research you can do more. I want to spur the interest of a certain type of card so people can go out there and dig some more. There's so much information that I don't put into videos because it would be 10 hours or multiple episodes. But I think with the charts and stuff like that, it's easier. A picture is worth 1,000 words, and the way I do that is probably coming from my technical background, because I had to talk to a lot of executives or other people in the business that were not technical. So how do you tell someone how a computer works that they can't even turn the computer on? So you can't use a lot of buzzwords, you can't, stuff like that. Over the years I had pictures I found and graphs always helped, because people can focus on that and kind of get the gist of what I'm saying on there. But I appreciate your comments, and I appreciate your kind words here, and hope everything's good with you guys. Keep watching. There's a lot more to come this year. Thanks, Bill and wife. So the next question is also about the eBay standard envelope and the Etsy letter mailing analysis that I'm doing with the videos. He says, very interesting for the science. My first non-tech experience question, is there a potential issue with the barcodes themselves? We probably all see different results with our printers and the barcodes and address in terms of visuality. I am just wondering, because the post office would not be interested in interfering with high-speed sorting machines, but when you showed the random Etsy stats, I'm not even sure where to point the finger or it matters. That all said, thank you eBay USPS for the eBay standard envelope option. I'll take it over a stamp and hope any day. So I'm going to break this down a little bit. The first one is, could there be a problem with the barcodes or my printer? Now, I do have a barcode scanner, and I have hit that, and it has put the numbers or whatever it could in there on my printing when I do labels and stuff like that, and it works fine. If I had a problem with my printer, printing on the thermal printer, my packages wouldn't get scanned. All my packages are basically 100%. I always get an origin scan, acceptance scan. I can't remember last time I didn't get a full set of scans on there. So I don't think there's a problem with the printer. The eBay standard envelope uses what is known as the Intelligent Mail Barcode, IMB. That is printed above the address line. This is the standard format used by the post office. So it's a standard barcode that they use on there. So I don't think there's a problem with that on there. No data points to that. But yes, when I showed the random, Etsy was like 85% didn't get a scan, and eBay's like 15% didn't get a scan, 9% didn't get a scan. I don't think the finger pointing is okay because you gotta kind of know where the issue is. A lot of people are blaming the post office and not scanning their stuff. But if you look at that, it looks like the platforms are not handling the data. That's data-driven analysis. It's not really finger pointing. It just says, where do we move the bar over? Where do we look? Stop looking at the post office right now because the data is showing that it's getting there. Etsy's not dealing with it, and eBay's not doing it. I think the post office still misses some scans once in a while. 85% of the things don't make it on Etsy. 9% don't make it on eBay. It's kind of weird. It's not as robust as package tracking, but pointing fingers, yeah, I would probably point to the platforms right now. But that all said, I'm with you. Absolutely. It's better than what we had with a stamp and a label. So I'm going to keep using it. I would hope it gets better, but I wanted to see why I'm getting all these emails from people saying it doesn't work, the post office is not scanning. Well, right now I gotta say they are scanning. It's just that the platforms are not doing it. And it does cause us a little bit more work because customers think it's eBay. I had one person tell me that eBay was actually delivering postcard, and it's illegal for eBay driver to put it in the post office mailbox. I mean, she was all up in my stuff about this. Fine, I usually don't reply to a lot of people like that. I usually just let it go, on its way. But I had to reply to that one and explain to her, and I haven't heard from her since. But to talk about postcards, I saved this. I ordered a postcard from somebody on eBay, and I blocked out all the addresses here. But a lot of people ask me, do you put do not bend and stuff like that labels on my postcards? No, I don't. Person mailed me a postcard, and it came in just a regular plain envelope with stamps, and they put on there non-machinable, hand cancel, do not bend on the front, and they also did it in red on the back. I know there's some postcard people in the channel here that usually watch, but if you look at the top there's a barcode. If you look at the bottom here, there's some barcode stuff going on. Did this still go through the machine? Or can they hand cancel and put the barcode here? I think it still went through the machine. So no, I don't put those on there. It doesn't really help. But if people were put, and also they put it in this envelope, and then they put a rigid top loader in there. Just buy one of these. You don't need to do all this. It'll fit in the mailbox. So here's my thinking. If I'm a mail carrier and I get something like this, and it has do not bend or whatever on there, and it doesn't have some rigidity to it, and I got to put it in a mailbox, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do that so I don't have to walk up to the front door, and I can stick it right in that mailbox. Now what if I put some rigid cardboard in this thing right here? And I use these for magazine ads. I can't bend it. It doesn't bend real easy. I'm going to walk this up to the door. This will fit right in a mailbox. They don't have to bend it. Is that overkill? I think it gives the customer a warm fuzzy that you try to do something. But that's just something I wanted to show you that I got that in. I mean, the card was protected. It had a rigid mailer. I don't really care, but I always get the questions, does that do anything? And it had a barcode. I think it still went through a machine. It made it, but I think the post office people will bend things to put them in the mailbox, put them in their boxes and stuff like that. on there. And that's my thing. But talking about these GAR cards, Grand Army of the Republic GAR cards, I have a video about other patriotic cards. That's another one I don't sell a lot of. I went to an auction, I paid up on some really nice patriotic cards embossed, cherry trees, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. I've tried a lot of things, and they're just sitting over there. Maybe one day I'll lot them up. But I sell one here and there. Check that video out here. It'll give you some insight on the patriotic card and my struggles. But I appreciate you watching today. That's all I got. Good luck out there, and I'll catch you on the next one.